Hello, I'm Steph from the Canadian Schoolhouse, and I've got with me Christine as well from the Canadian Schoolhouse. And we're going to share some of the content that we've just got new on the site. And our theme for this month is balancing home and homeschooling. And I've said more than once in conversations with people one-on-one, and even just with Christine, just as we were prepping for this, like the doing homeschooling, getting the right curriculum and teaching your kids. Again, you get the right curriculum, you don't have to feel like you be a teacher, is actually kind of the easy part of homeschooling. It's really balancing that home life and all the other roles that we have as parents, in with trying to figure out how that works in teaching our kids, and fitting that in and teaching our kids as well. And I'll have to say that probably right now is the perfect time that we have this theme, balancing home and homeschooling, because we're renovating a lot in our house, and if I didn't have this screen here behind me, separating out my background, you'd see, a shelf full of all the stuff that this is like what we call our learning room. So it's sort of my office. There's another desk in here too, and it's the area where, even for me, I put that off as well. All the work I do is really learning, just learning all the time. But it is our learning room, but that has transitioned several times as we've been doing renovations. You move everything out of one room and you move to another, and we're doing renovations because we are going to be listing our house and moving very soon. So balancing home and homeschooling, and we are still doing, because we homeschool all throughout summer. I can't imagine taking a big break, like a 2-month break, and for my own routine, but even for my kids to be out of the routine of fitting in learning. So there's a whole bunch of different aspects of that, of balancing the home and homeschooling, and it really has to be that balance of both. So we're going to share a few resources with you. I'm going to share a couple, and Christine can put that in first. Actually, I'm going to share this great resource we have on schoolhouseteachers.com, and they are customizable schedules. So you can go, there's actually, you'll get a link to the schedules, but in that same area, I'm not sure, is that link, Christine, is that going to go just to the help charts page? Or is that to the actual PDF? It's probably going to go to the help charts page, is it?
It's for the page, and so you can decide which one you'd like. You can actually get one with the date in it, or you can get it without the date, so that way it's better to customize. And you can choose, there's a couple of options, so that way you can choose which ones you like.
Yeah,
so
there's a few different things,
in the comments there.
A few different ways you can do that. Mm-hmm. Great.
There you go.
So that's one little tip for you. You can grab those schedules, and I have done all kinds of different schedules over the years, both for just my work, both for my family stuff, and then sometimes I have like intertwined the two in one schedule, trying to, and I have done every kind. I've done the like hour by hour scheduling, which really I've tried to make that work, because I'm like I know I could, but there's just so much. Not for you either, eh?
No.
Yeah, I like the idea of that though. Have you tried it, or did you just know right away that wasn't for you?
No, it wasn't. Yeah, because like we don't even start the day at the same time every day, so like it just. Like forget it. Like I can't even say, okay, 9 to 10 is going to be this, and then 10. Like no, so sometimes they sleep until 10. So then what?
Yep.
So we do chunks, right? We do morning chunk,
Yeah.
and afternoon chunk, and evening chunk. So
and that's kind of a nice way to do it as well, to just doing that chunk of time. And you can, search for all different kinds of ways to schedule time management, because that's really the stuff that you need to. It's not so much about the skills of either homeschooling or even working from home. I mean, both Christine and I work from home. We're working for the old schoolhouse, right? So we work virtually. All our work is done at home. And I have worked from home for about 10 years now, a little over 10 years, I guess. And from that, I have lots of my work has been with people, helping them build businesses online. And so from that work I've done that is just like skills based, I saw that real need for people to just get organized. And that wasn't even necessarily people with kids, but people just getting organized, because it is hard to work in your home if your habit isn't there. And actually, I mean, as I said, I've been working from home for 10 years, but sometimes I still get off that habit. Sometimes I'm like, when am I going to fit my work time in? And it's never the same schedule. So I have gotten rid of the real deep scheduling. I like lists though. I like to-do lists.
Yes.
And one of the articles, let's share one of those other links there, Christine, to the organize your home and and yes, what is it? Organize your home and simplify your family life. I love that that article and all the different tips it has. It's a lot more about your family life. It talks a little bit, so it's a lot more about your household, I should say. And ways to get that housework done, some organizing tips there, stuff on storage, which I am always finding great tips on. We actually had there was a bit of a storage tips idea that I was part of a little bit back, and I just got all kinds of new tips on some stuff to buy, but just different things to do to like storage and organization, and right, just getting organized in your workspace as well as in your home. So I like that as well. And there's also the other thing that's put in there is that pre-planning, so the kind of scheduling, or backwards planning, and that one I have done before too. And if you don't know what the backwards planning is, that's kind of writing down what you do with your day. And I do that as a little bit of a self-accountability. I have done that. I don't do that right now, and I will likely do that again. It just depends. If you feel like you're not wanting to really schedule your time ahead, but you're finding you're not getting the time to do things, and logically you think, hey, I can do this. Like, I've got, however many 16 waking hours in a day, like I can get a lot of stuff done in 16 hours. Logically, we're thinking in our head. And I've often, when I've done that scheduling, especially when I've done it so strict as hour by hour, like, yeah, I'm going to work on the computer this time, and this time we're going to do schooling, and I'm going to go out and do some gardening at this time, and yeah, I'm going to do some cooking and baking. Like, I'd put every little element in there. And in theory, it sounds great. It just didn't work for my personality and my style at all. So, and I know there are people that it does work great for. So if it works great for you, then please share that. Like, share that in the comments as you're watching, whether it's the recording or not. Just share some of your whether you've used scheduling and done that successfully. I have to admit, a lot of people that I've talked to have not done well with that hour by hour scheduling, but it is a really popular one out there. Like, have you searched that, Christine? Like, kind of doing different things for scheduling and different ideas.
Yeah. And you'll find so many templates out there to do that. And it just, when I look for different things, that's the one that comes up the most. And so, like, I don't use them. So
there's got to be people that do, right?
There is. Just
yeah, put a little comment in there if it works for you. Say works for me, because there are, again, I just want to be open. As much as there are so many different ways to homeschool too, there are so many different ways to schedule your day. But I truly believe that it's very important to not necessarily schedule, even this planning backwards. So either maybe at the beginning or the end of your day, you just have a list of what you want to do, or you note down what you did that day. And I've even done that backwards planning of how I will note down, or I will note what I did at a certain time of the day. And I've just done that for a short period of time for accountability. Like, where is my time going? Like, I've got 16 hours and I was awake all that time. What did I do all that time? Because I didn't get so much done that I thought I could in that day. And it's not because, okay, sometimes it's because I got distracted completely with something else. But lots of times it's just like you need to get realistic on what your capabilities are with kids, especially if you've got younger kids. That takes a lot of unplanned time away, because they that's what I found anyway. And your kids are a little bit younger than mine, Christine, and I kind of remember when they were that age. Like, that's when I really tried to do this strict scheduling, or somewhat strict anyway. And it was like the stuff with the kids was always taking me away. And of course, I don't want to like ignore them, right?
Of course.
And the whole reason that we homeschool and work from home, right? Or at least for me and many of us, is so that we can put family first. So I'm kind of defeating the purpose when I'm like, no, just don't bother me here. Let me turn the TV on for you. Watch TV all day long. Play video games.
That's happened.
And that would occupy them all day long. Like, they could, if you're like most people, they could be able to, be occupied by the TV all day long. However, that's not quite the parenting style I'm going for. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Kristen. It's good to do oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's good to do that sort of inventory of your time, just especially when, like, a year ago, I wasn't working officially from, so it was just homeschool. So you had the schedule, good. We did school through the day, and then, you worked in home, like cleaning and all that stuff, all those chores into the schedule, and it was fine. And then I started work, and then, oh no, I don't have that much time to do this and this and this and this. So I had to readjust. And so it's good to see, okay, how much time do I actually need to do work? How much time do I need to do the housework? And how much time, like, and then you need to leave time for those moments where your kids are going to be like, we need mommy. So it took a bit of adjusting, and it's just good to do that inventory and see, like, okay, I do need about 2 hours. I can handle 2 hours like each day for work, and then we can block off this amount of time for school. Like the kids can handle this much right now, because that changes as they get older, how much they can handle.
Does, yeah.
Like my 4-year-old will just, 5 minutes, okay, I'm done. And it's like, no, we have to do a little bit more. So I mean, but like it, and it's an ongoing thing, ongoing adjustment, especially when you're homeschooling. And it's good. Like we were talking about this before when we were prepping, just to plan this, and you're also teaching your kids, right, by example, that you got to balance everything, because it's not just school, it's not just work, it's not just house stuff. Like you got to learn how to do it, because when they get older, guess what, they got to do the same thing. So when they can do that, because they followed your example, then win-win. And Kristen says, let me just put her comment up there. Feel like I'm still learning this time balance. Yes. It's an ongoing thing, Kristen.
Yes, the housework takes a hit. I agree, especially right now as I'm not only just still trying to keep the household together, right? Like, and I'm still trying to do, get my time in the kitchen, just the normal meals and baking that I love to do, and then all that other stuff. But it's like the cleaning and extra cleaning because of renovations, and that's not even talking about the work of renovations, but it's always my housework that takes a hit.
Yes.
And I often say when my kids, and that article too that we referenced before about organizing your home, there's a little section in there about getting kids to do the housework. And I've always had my kids do some housework, but I gave them a little pep talk. I don't know if they thought it was a pep talk. I thought it was a pep talk. That especially as we're going through these renovations and we're going to be moving, that I really need you guys to just step up a little bit more and be able to do, get the dishes done and help with some of those renovations that they can, right? And lots of it being to do with cleaning and just helping actually to do some of the regular household stuff that I took on a little bit more regularly. That they do, and it's actually really helpful for me to have this opportunity to be able to just because I just don't have the time, right, to get them to do it. And they've been doing that little bit of cleaning. I don't know that anybody likes cleaning or loves cleaning, but most cleaning I like. I like seeing the product of cleaning.
Yes.
So that's where I keep my mind focused. I like seeing my house clean, so I have to focus on that. But I've been able to put some of that cleaning off on my kids as well, right? They're 10 and 13, more than capable of vacuuming, cleaning the bathroom. Yay! That's my worst place to clean. I
don't think anybody likes cleaning the bathroom.
No, I don't think so. But I really, really, really love seeing it clean.
Yes.
Like really love it.
Yeah.
And that's so important, and that's actually really part of homeschooling. Like, wouldn't you say, like, it's all life skills. We've actually got is it next month or is it maybe even the month after, as we're looking at themes August. Of content that we really talk about family style life skills. So it's next month, is it, yes. Christine? Yeah. So in August, that's our theme. So we'll have a little talk about that. But one of the most important things that lots of homeschoolers focus on is life skills. Like, how do you run a household? And it's not just about making sure you buy enough groceries, and the right groceries, but how do you right, the cleaning and the house, right? Like, there's so much that goes into running a household and keeping it looking right and comfortable and enjoyable for everybody to be living in, right, and living happily together, or at least in harmony, somewhat peacefully. And we need to teach those to our kids. So I have a just turned 27-year-old as well, and when I think about how I parented him, in comparison to, like, I really didn't have him doing, I think I had started having him do dishes when he was 13, like that was the first. And that was because that's when I had a new baby in the house. So, taking a little bit about my time, because it truly is easier if I just do it myself. Like, it's easier and quicker if I just do it myself. However, what benefit is that to our kids when we just do it for ourselves? Do it ourselves and not give them the opportunity to do that as well. So let's chat a little bit about, I want you to go first, Christine, and chat about maybe like what comes to mind first when you think about that what you're doing in your home, just to create, maybe even like to create that harmony or balance, right? That in your, and really with you, right? It's work and household and then all those roles as a wife and a mom and whatever other roles you might that are very important, and then homeschooling, right? What did I say? Work, home, and homeschooling, right? Educating your kids.
Well, and I'm trying to. I'm still trying to. It's an ongoing thing, but I really want to teach my kids that you got to do the work first. Like the first thing kids want to do is play, watch their show, but I'm trying very hard to say, please work first, because when you get the work done, you're not worried that you still have all this stuff and then you got to catch up. get it done first, and then your mind is at ease and you can actually relax afterwards and do whatever you want. So, and it's, it's hard because they're always thinking the fun thing that they want to do today, but hopefully one day they'll just do it and I won't have to say it. But this is something that I do in my life too. It's in my personal life. You do the work, you get the job done first, and then the other things come. So then we make sure we do homeschool in the morning part. And then in the afternoon, we wrap up, we do whatever else needs to get done within the house. And then in the evenings, you've got your quiet time, you've got your play time, you've got your whatever. If we do a couple of classes in the late afternoons for the kids, Bible focused and stuff like that. So then they're getting all of that too. And it's fun and it's relaxed because again, all the work is done. So, and lately I've had to adjust with the whole house cleaning and stuff. Yes, Kristen, I'm going to put that up there. I will try to talk to your kids if you want me to, but I don't know. I don't know. They're quite persistent
I think Kristen's talking about her doing the work first, which sometimes that's the way it is with me. As you're talking about that, I'm like, I'm really listening, taking these tips in because sometimes I'm leaving my work till
sometimes I will tell you, I don't feel like it. Like it's just, you know what? I just could sit here with my cup of coffee in the morning and just not go anywhere and not do anything. But I have to say, like, and I remind myself, if I don't do it now, then I have this plus tomorrow's work. And then, it adds up. And I don't like feeling pressured. I don't like having a whole weight on me. So that's how I operate and that's how I want my kids to operate. And so hopefully everybody works on that. And I was saying about the housework, which as you were saying, Kristen, it kind of gets pushed to the side sometimes because other things take precedent. But sometimes I have to just take a day. Like if we can get the homeschool done Monday to Thursday, because you can do whatever you want with your homeschool schedule. You could do a 4-day week and then take that one day at the end of the week and just, okay, we're all cleaning the house. And then you can relax on the weekend, right? And you do more fun things on the weekend. So that's sort of, and too with work, I try not to have to work on the weekend so that, we have that family time. Cause for a while it was a little, things kind of got blurred. And so we were always going every day, Monday to Sunday. So we're trying to bring back that time just for rest and just family time and family focus. So that's for me.
I've had to do that too, especially with working at home. I've always had to make my day, and I make it Sunday because that's just a day where but I mean, even with Sunday, even like going to church and even having that like a family day and a relaxed day, it's still really easy to just say, oh, I just need to do this thing for work, and I just slip it in maybe in the morning still, even before anybody else gets up, or it's a lazy Sunday afternoon. Oh, I think I'll go and do some work. But I had to make it that one day where I never work. So Sunday, I never on my computer. Like I might be on the laptop, and I'm not like I'm not going to touch the computer if we want to look up something. Right. But I'm not going to go in and check my email, and I'm not going to. And that's like a real, almost like an addiction in that way, that it's in my mind that I'm just going to check my email, and I can do it quickly on my phone too. So it's not. I don't need my whole big desktop booted up and going, right? Like it's so easy to just check on my phone. So I have definitely put that in my life, my own boundary, right? And I think that's what we all need to do. Find out what those real boundaries are, those places that's kind of tripping you up, because it's different for each of us, and that you can that you can try to just with your own lifestyle and the way it works with your your own family and your own kids, right? Really just work on those things that are most relevant to to your life, and what works and doesn't work. And I think I said this while we were live. I know we had a little chat beforehand, Christine, so I'm wondering if I just said it then. But one of the really important things is yes, is the mindset. And for me, that mindset is really important. So there's this other resource, and this is actually an article I wrote, and it's a part of a short little ebook I wrote. So it's 10 tips on how to create that balance in your work and home. And it's not so much about, like, there's a little bit of organizational tips on it, but lots of it is about, so for me, I need to make sure I start every day in the Word. I need to read the Bible. Sometimes I listen to it as well. If I want to do some of my stretching and strengthening in the morning, I just lay on the ground and roll all about and listen to the Bible. And then generally it's my time where I have, the time varies, but it's usually at minimum a half an hour, sometimes an hour of time where I am just renewing myself in the Word, right? Being transformed by the renewing of your mind. And we need to do that every day, right? We can't.
Yes.
I would love it if I could just, or even just once a month. Can I just read God's Word once a month? I'm just going to read scripture that's going to fix me up once a month. I'll spend one day even and just read it all that one day. But that wouldn't work either, right? It needs to be this constant. It's like our food. It's like we need to be constantly.
It's our daily bread. Yep.
With the right thinking, because my thinking goes in the wrong direction often enough. And thanks be to God that I'm able to control that better now than I once did. I got a long ways to go, but I'm certainly better than I once was on just being able to have my thoughts guided in the right direction, right? So thoughts still come up that are either distracting or just disruptive or whatever, right? And then I need to change that to something else, right? And when I think of my work and when I think of my home life, all my relationships within my home and how I want them to be and to nurture them, and it's one of those ways that I need that constant filling up. Right. So I do that with faith. There's also other things that like for me, like getting exercise. Oh, it's so important.
My
right?
exercise has gone
make sure our
out
bodies
the window. which is so frustrating because I know that I need it, and I know that it actually gives you strength to keep going, but like I still haven't worked that part into my schedule yet, and I'm I really want to because I do miss it. But it's I don't know, there's some
whether it's like just going out for a walk.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too. You can't the day that you think, okay, I'm gonna walk, and then it rains, and then it's like, well, so much for that idea. And then you get busy doing something else. So I don't know. I have to figure it out.
There's always things kind of taking our eyes off of what's really important. And one other thing, and I think we're kind of just finish up at this point because we talked about it before, and I just want that to be so on your mind for all you parents out there that are either really new to homeschooling or thinking about it for September, right? The public school system is a little bit chaotic, to say the least, from what I've heard from friends that have their kids in there, and doing the online learning was very chaotic for them. And I know that's not necessarily, like, it's not the same approach for every school or every teacher either, but just with that, the reasons that I didn't have my two younger sons in public school is a lot because I wanted that educational life with them. And if there's anything we can do to encourage you to just like that relationship that you're going to create with your kids by being the one that's leading them in this educational life. Like I like to think of it, those first 5 years for most people, this first 5 years of their child's life, or 4 now, right? Because kids, I guess, go to school when they're 4 now. But are a time when most parents are sacrificing, if we want to use that word, sacrificing. It is a sacrifice. I don't want to minimize that. Of their work, right? They're maybe not going to work. They're adjusting. They either have to find care for their children during the day, or they have to be with them, right? And for the first 4 years, that is something that many parents just do. And hopefully most parents are spending that time with their kids. And then there seems to be this perception in our society that, oh, well, once they reach 4 or 5, let's just give that privilege, that awesome responsibility and privilege to educate our children, to teach them more, right? Because look, just think of that time between 1 and 4 years of age, of how much they learned. Like, they learned so much, and we were so happy. All parents are so happy to get some toys. And I mean, I'll use the word curriculum just to tie that in with what we call it when we're actually homeschooling our kids, but the resources to teach them, right? Whether it be books that they're learning from, or toys, right? Or games. And there are just so many ways that kids can learn. And when they get a little older, yeah, then you maybe want a little bit something that is classified more as curriculum, right? So that's really putting them through learning the right math skills and being able to focus on learning about our world at large, right? Whatever you feel that you want your kids to know about most. So it is such an awesome responsibility. It's a privilege, and I couldn't imagine giving that privilege away. Now, however, as I said, I have a son who's 27, and I didn't think of it until he got to about grade 5, and he had from pretty much kindergarten, or at least grade 1 to grade 5, he had a really hard time in school. It just didn't work for his brain. He's a really well-behaved kid in any other social situation, but in school he had all kinds of behavior problems, and it would just come out because he got frustrated with being able to learn. And it wasn't, he didn't have, I guess he got identified with some learning disability, ADHD, but really I see that as just like, okay, so his mind worked differently, right? His brain just worked in a different way that the public school system wasn't able to accommodate in such a big group setting, which is almost impossible to do in a big group of kids. You've got one, maybe two people teaching, and those teachers are dedicated. So I don't want anybody to think I'd ever, as far as teachers go in the school system, they are pretty much, 99% of people that are there because they love having that educational experience with kids. And so as a parent, it's amazing to have that educational experience with kids. Is it always easy, and are we always like happy, and and am I frustrated sometimes because I'm just the kids are not, all that. It's not easy. But it's so rewarding, so worth it, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to pass that on to you people that are new to homeschooling again, or considering it. There's a way that you can fit that in. You got me and Christine right here, and lots of people have actually learned to work virtually, but there are so many. If it's just because you're thinking like, I just can't imagine being at home all day long and trying to fit my work in, even as some people are trying to fit their work in that is turned virtual. They used to go out to an office, and now they work from home. Like, there's a lot of adjustment with that, and I totally relate to that. I know that transition time. I was a hairstylist once upon a time, and that's pretty, like, always going out, and you leave work, and I'm in that mindset, right? And then when I started working from home, and it was mostly virtual work, computer work, right, I really had to adjust my time, and I really had to, and I still struggle with that. I have not perfected that. I work when I can, right? Because I'm trying to integrate it all, and we can have a flexible job even within our work here at the old schoolhouse. We're pretty flexible. There's a few time things as far as meetings or a certain doing this. It's a certain time we do this at. But for the most part, all of our work can fit around whenever it works in our days, right? Certain amount of hours I know I have to put in a week to get all that work done, but I could do it at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not my best working time. I've discovered that. I've tried that one out. And 3 o'clock in the morning is not. I'm much better if I just wake up
Yeah,
earlier.
exactly.
My late night is, but nonetheless, I'll probably try it again a few times. It's like, shoot, I did not get this in my day, and I'm trying to fit some more work in. I just want to be able to encourage anybody that thinks that they need to be able to work, because you can work at home and you can find a work environment that's right for you. Because I bet even my work environment is not the same as Christine's work environment, right?
Yeah.
Like you can set it up very differently. I'm right in the crux of my home. Like I'm in we call it the learning room, but it's not a room on its own. It's just part of our kitchen and living room. It's kind of like our second living room, how it works in our house, but it's a really nice big room. But the kitchen is right over there. Like I can turn my head and look at it, right? Like
Right.
and my kids are always right there. And
Yeah.
I love that. And sometimes it's frustrating, but again, know that you can make that work. And I hope you all watching right now are just so encouraged and inspired that you want to figure out that way that's going to work for your family. And my advice to do that is just start doing it. Just start doing it and then adjust as you go along, because you don't have to have it all figured out right away. I would say it took me years to figure out.
Well, and there's no perfect cookie cutter. There's no perfect anywhere because every home is different. So you have to do, and that's as you were saying, the flexibility is the most beautiful thing about choosing to homeschool. Like your how you teach your kids is flexible. How you work in your hours is flexible. How you do whatever you do as a family is flexible. You make your own schedule. So yeah, just be encouraged that you can do. Everybody who has done it has said, they had their rough times, because it's the figuring out part that's difficult. But once you figure out your rhythm and how all of these things work together, then you're good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We will be back in another 2 weeks, and we're actually going to have Deborah Ruler with us, and she's going to share about one of the what do they call that? Yeah. Anyway, it's on the YouVersion app. Yes. That is I guess it's a Bible study, right?
It's the Psalms.
The Psalms. Teaching Psalms for homeschooling moms, I think is the actual name of it. If you want to look on YouVersion, you can go check that out. But we're going to have Deb Wurler on in another 2 weeks to share about that, and I am pretty excited. I have gone through it myself, except I didn't. So it's a 7-day, and I haven't done 7 days in a row yet. But however, I've done that and done that with my kids, and that's actually pretty cool. So you can go check that out beforehand and join us in another 2 weeks for our next live with Deborah. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.